Donald Trump's return to the presidency in 2025 has reignited debates across America and the world. Supporters see his leadership as a chance to reclaim American strength, to put the country first, and to rebuild industries that they believe have been neglected. Critics, on the other hand, argue that Trump's aggressive policies, particularly on trade, immigration, and international relations, risk isolating the United States and damaging its long-term interests. So what exactly is happening in Trump's America this time? What are the gains for the country under his leadership, and what are the losses? In this video, we'll break down both sides in detail, looking at the economy, trade, jobs, global standing, and the everyday lives of Americans. Let's begin with the positives, the areas where Trump's policies are giving America some advantages: tariff protection and America First economics. One of Trump's first moves after returning to power in 2025 was to double down on tariffs. He placed higher duties on imports from countries like China, Mexico, and even Canada, insisting that these measures would protect American industries from unfair competition. For steelworkers in Pennsylvania, auto workers in Michigan, and certain manufacturing hubs across the country, these tariffs do provide a sense of security. Foreign goods become more expensive, which means domestic companies have a better chance of competing in the local market. The message is simple: buy American, make American, and keep jobs inside America. This approach resonates with many working-class families who feel left behind by globalization. Factories that were once shutting down have slowed their decline, and some companies are even expanding production within U.S. borders. Job protection. Through stricter immigration rules. Immigration has always been at the center of Trump's politics, and 2025 is no different. His administration has tightened border controls, increased deportations, and restricted certain categories of visas. The argument here is that by reducing the inflow of foreign workers, more jobs open up for American citizens. Construction, manufacturing, and some low-wage service sectors are seeing less competition from undocumented labor, which in theory should help raise wages for American workers. For Trump's base, this is a clear win. They see him as defending not only the country's borders, but also their livelihoods, energy independence, and expansion of domestic production. Another big gain comes from Trump's aggressive energy policies. Instead of prioritizing renewable energy transitions, his administration has focused heavily on oil, natural gas, and coal. By expanding drilling permits, reducing environmental regulations, and cutting red tape for fossil fuel companies, Trump has boosted domestic production. The result? More jobs in the energy sector, more revenue for American companies, and less reliance on foreign oil. Supporters say this not only strengthens America's economy, but also its national security. An energy-independent America, they argue, is less vulnerable to global shocks or reliance on hostile nations for supply. Strong America First diplomacy. Trump's foreign policy continues to push allies to contribute more to defense and trade partnerships. He has pressured NATO countries to spend more on their militaries, demanded better terms from trade partners, and reminded the world that America will no longer accept being taken advantage of. This assertive stance appeals to Americans who feel that the U.S. has carried too much of the world's burden for too long. By putting America first, Trump aims to ensure that resources are spent at home rather than abroad. A boost in national confidence for his supporters. Beyond policy, one intangible gain is the sense of confidence among his base. Millions of Americans feel that Trump represents their voice, their values, and their struggles. His presidency energizes them, giving them hope that their concerns about jobs, culture, and national pride are being heard at the highest level. This surge of confidence, while not easily measurable in numbers, has political and social weight. But here's the reality. While these gains look impressive on paper, they are not evenly distributed. For every factory that survives because of tariffs, there's a farmer losing an export contract. For every energy worker benefiting from deregulation, there's a consumer paying more at the gas pump or grocery store. In other words, the same policies that deliver victories to some are creating losses for others. To understand Trump's America in 2025, we need to look at both sides of the coin. Cons for the USA under Trump in 2025, trade wars, and retaliation from other countries. The most obvious downside of Trump's tariff strategy is retaliation. Other nations are not sitting quietly while the U.S. imposes new taxes on their exports. Canada, Mexico, China, and even European allies have responded with tariffs of their own. For American farmers who rely on exporting soybeans, corn, meat, and dairy, this is devastating. Foreign markets that once welcomed American goods are now turning away, either due to high prices caused by tariffs or because they are sourcing from other countries. So while steelworkers may feel protected, farmers in the Midwest are losing contracts and income. The pain is uneven, but it is very real. Rising costs for American consumers' tariffs don't only hurt foreign exporters, they also raise prices at home. When imported goods become more expensive, American consumers are the ones footing the bill. Everyday items, from electronics to clothing, furniture to car parts, are now more costly. For families already struggling with inflation, these higher prices hit hard. What was meant as a policy to protect jobs can feel like a tax on ordinary Americans. National debt and economic uncertainty. Despite promising to cut spending, Trump's policies in 2025 are adding to America's already massive national debt. Tax cuts, subsidies for certain industries, and military spending increases all contribute to higher deficits. At the same time, businesses face uncertainty. Tariffs, trade restrictions, and unpredictable policies make it harder for companies to plan long-term investments. Stock markets have seen increased volatility, with investors unsure of what Trump will do next. This kind of uncertainty can scare away both domestic and foreign investment, slowing down overall economic growth. Strain on international alliances and America's global image. On the diplomatic stage, Trump's America First approach has strained alliances. NATO partners, Asian allies, and Latin American neighbors are all more cautious about working with Washington. While some appreciate his bluntness, many view America as less reliable and more self-interested than before. This decline in global trust could have long-term consequences, especially as rivals like China and Russia step into roles the U.S. once held as global leader. For example, while Trump is raising tariffs, China is deepening trade relationships with Africa and Latin America. America risks losing influence in regions that were once central to its global strategy. Political division and domestic tensions. Another undeniable loss is the deepening political division within the U.S. Trump's leadership style, known for its fiery rhetoric and combative tone, has intensified polarization. His supporters feel more emboldened, but his critics feel more alienated. Protests, political clashes, and even violence at times have erupted in different parts of the country. The sense of unity that is essential for long-term stability seems harder to achieve under Trump's return. While he gives strength to one side of America, he pushes the other side further away. Environmental setbacks. Trump's focus on fossil fuels and deregulation has come at the cost of environmental progress. By sidelining renewable energy initiatives and climate agreements, the U.S. risks falling behind in the global green economy race. Other countries are investing heavily in clean technologies, creating jobs and new industries of the future. America, under Trump, may be clinging to traditional energy sources at the expense of long-term sustainability and competitiveness, balancing the ledger. So where does that leave the United States in 2025 under Trump's leadership? On the one hand, certain sectors, manufacturing, fossil fuels, and some domestic industries, are indeed stronger. Jobs are being protected, national pride is rising among his supporters, and the message of putting America first resonates strongly. On the other hand, farmers, exporters, global alliances, and consumers are paying a heavy price. America's debt is rising, its global standing is more fragile, and divisions at home are growing deeper. Donald Trump's second presidency is not a simple story of victory or failure. It is a complex mixture of both gains and losses. Some Americans feel empowered and protected, while others feel excluded and endangered. Trump's policies in 2025 deliver short-term wins for certain industries and communities, but risk long-term costs for the broader economy and America's place in the world. The ultimate question is, Will these short-term gains outweigh the long-term losses, or will America find itself paying a heavier price in the years to come? One thing is certain: Trump's America, once again, is a nation divided, debating not only its present but its very future.